Here's what's going to destroy you in 2026. Not poverty, not failure, not even loneliness. Options. Too many voices telling you who to be. Too many paths that look promising for exactly 5 minutes. Too many courses, frameworks, morning routines, side hustles, investment strategies, and self-improvement gurus all screaming that this is the thing that will finally fix you. And here's the kicker. Most of them are right. Any of those paths could work. Any of those systems could change your life. But you'll try none of them long enough to find out. Because the real skill, the one that actually separates men who build something from men who just consume advice about building something, isn't discipline. It's not motivation, it's not even money. It's the ability to choose a direction in a world designed to keep you spinning. And stay there. For most of human history, your life was decided before you were born. You were a farmer's son? You'd be a farmer. Blacksmith's daughter? Blacksmith. Your village had maybe 150 people. Your options for who to marry? Maybe 3. Your career paths? 1. Sounds horrible, right? Except, here's what nobody tells you. That constraint created clarity. You knew what mattered because there was no alternative. You knew what to build because there was nothing else to build. You knew who you were because society told you. And there was no Instagram account suggesting you could be 17 other things by Thursday. Now you wake up and you can quit your job and start a podcast, move to another country by next month. Learn to code, to trade, to build, to speak 3 languages. Reinvent yourself completely. Consume infinite advice on how to optimize, maximize, and 10x literally everything. And every single one of those options is being sold to you as the path. On paper, this is freedom. In reality, it's paralysis dressed up as possibility. Because when everything is available, nothing feels necessary. You're not lazy. You're overstimulated and fundamentally undecided. You confuse motion with progress. You think consuming another video about discipline is discipline. You believe that staying busy means you're building something. But busy doesn't mean direction. And without direction, you're just drifting in high definition. Self-direction is not having your entire life figured out. It's not a 5-year plan color-coded in Notion. It's not waking up at 4 a.m. because some guy on YouTube told you that's what winners do. Self-direction is simpler and harder than that. It's knowing what you're building toward next and ignoring everything that doesn't serve it. Not forever, just long enough for it to actually matter. A self-directed man doesn't need permission to start. He doesn't need a guarantee it will work. He doesn't need his parents to approve, his friends to understand, or the algorithm to validate him. He chooses a path without certainty, stays consistent without external applause, builds routines that fit his life instead of copying someone else's. He uses tools, courses, apps, frameworks, without becoming dependent on them. And here's the part that makes people uncomfortable. He measures progress internally, not by likes, not by what looks good in a LinkedIn post, not by whether his college friends are impressed at the reunion, by whether he's closer to the thing he said mattered 6 months ago. This isn't about control, it's about constraints. Because here's the truth, nobody wants to hear in 2026. Freedom without constraints will ruin you. Infinite options without a filter will paralyze you. And the ability to be anything means you'll be nothing. Unless you learn to choose and commit. You know what AI is about to do? Make execution easier than it's ever been. You want to write? AI will write. You want to design? AI will design. You want to plan, research, organize, optimize? AI will do all of it faster and better than you can. And that sounds incredible until you realize what it actually means. It means the barrier to starting something just dropped to 0, which means the number of things you could do just went infinite. More options, more paths, more voices. And AI cannot, will not, ever tell you what actually matters to you. It can't choose your direction. It can only give you 17 new ways to avoid choosing one. In 2026, the men who win won't be the ones who can do more. They'll be the ones who can say, "This matters. This is what I'm building. Everything else is noise." Self-direction is the skill that lets you use technology without being consumed by it. Because the tools are about to get so good that the only question left is, what are you actually building with them? And if you don't have an answer, You'll just build someone else's dream faster. Your future is not decided by what you want. It's decided by what you consistently pay attention to. Every time you open your phone, you're voting for distraction or focus, for someone else's priority or yours, for the algorithm's agenda or your own. And here's the thing that makes this brutal. You don't get to protect your attention once and be done. You have to choose every single day. Every scroll, every notification, every quick check that turns into 30 minutes. If you don't guard your attention, nothing else matters. Because you can have the perfect plan, the perfect routine, the perfect goals, and still drift if your attention is somewhere else. Stop asking what's impressive. Start asking what's aligned. Most men make decisions based on what looks good to their parents, to their peers, to strangers on the internet who don't even know their name. They take jobs they hate because the title sounds good. They chase money in fields they don't care about because that's what successful people do. They compare themselves to people on completely different paths and feel like failures. A self-directed man asks a different question. Not, will this impress people, but, does this move me toward the person I'm trying to become? And if the answer is no, it doesn't matter how good it looks, it's noise. You don't need a perfect routine. You need a repeatable one. The guy who works out twice a week for 2 years will be stronger than the guy who goes hardcore for 2 months and burns out. The guy who writes 300 words a day will finish more books than the guy who writes 3,000 words when he's inspired. Stability beats intensity every single time, because intensity is a feeling. And feelings fade. But systems? Systems just run. Most men fail because they build routines for the version of themselves they wish they were, not the version they actually are. You're not a Navy SEAL, you're not a monk. You're not the guy in the YouTube thumbnail who wakes up at 4 a.m. and meditates on a mountain. You're you, and your routine needs to fit your actual life or it won't last past Tuesday. Every day, you choose comfort now or freedom later. And most men don't even realize they're choosing. They think scrolling for an hour is harmless. It's just 1 hour. They think skipping the workout today won't matter. It's just 1 day. They think putting off the hard conversation, the difficult project, the uncomfortable growth won't change anything. And they're right. It won't change anything today, but it will compound. And 5 years from now, you'll look back and realize that all those small comfort now decisions built a life you don't actually want. Long-term thinking isn't dramatic. It's not a vision board or a 10-year plan. It's asking one question before you act. Does this serve the man I'm trying to become, or the man I'm trying to escape? And then doing the hard thing anyway. Here's what nobody tells you about building something real. You will not feel ready. You will not feel confident. You will spend months, maybe years, not knowing if it's working. And your emotions will scream at you to quit, to pivot, to try something easier, to go back to what's safe. Self-directed men don't ignore emotions. They just don't let emotions decide. Because calm men make better decisions, reactive men get pulled. If you can't regulate your emotional state when things are uncertain, you'll quit the moment it gets hard. And it will get hard. That's not a warning, that's a promise. In 2026, drifting will be the easiest thing you've ever done. You won't collapse, you won't fail publicly, you won't hit rock bottom in some dramatic way that forces you to change. You'll just stay busy, stay entertained, stay distracted, stay functional. You'll go to work, pay your bills, scroll your feed, watch your shows, keep up with your friends, and the years will pass. And nothing will feel wrong exactly, just hollow. And one day you'll be 35, 40, 45, and you'll look back and realize you spent a decade consuming content about the life you wanted instead of building it. No villain, no catastrophe, just quiet regret. That's the danger. Not that you'll fail, but that you'll drift so comfortably you won't even notice you're not moving. Self-direction isn't dramatic. It's not a lightning bolt moment or a breakdown that forces clarity. It's boring. It's subtle. It's the same choice, made over and over, when nobody's watching and nothing's urgent. And it's the only thing that separates the men who build from the men who just talk about building. 2026 will reward the men who can choose and commit, not perfectly, not loudly, not for everyone else to see, but intentionally. If that's you, subscribe. And if you're actually serious about fixing your routine this week, not next month, not when things calm down, not when you feel ready, comment "No more excuses" below. Let's see who's actually putting in the work, because the future won't wait for you to feel ready, but it will belong to the men who started anyway.